Yo, what's good guys? In this video we're going to take a look at file transfer in Python with file size verification. So I'll be transferring over some files to my iPhone. Now before we jump into the scripts, let's go ahead and run it so you guys can see what it's going to look like. So let me get a command prompt right here, and if you take a look, I have both the send client and the send server, and I have some images that I'll be transferring from my computer to my iPhone. Now if we go ahead and run Python, we'll be running the client on this machine. This is the usage for the client, so the Python script, the host, which will be the IP address, and the file you want to transfer. Now let me go ahead and run the server on my iPhone. Alright, server is running, so let's go ahead and start by sending this vi.jpg file. So we'll do Python send client, IP address is 168.1.126, and we'll go ahead and paste the file name. Now let's go ahead and run it. And there we go. You can see the transfer is complete. Size has been verified and they match. Alright, so now that you've seen the script in action, let's go ahead and break down how it actually works. So let's start with the server. We'll go ahead and import the socket, time, and operating system functions. Like always, we're going to go ahead and define the host and the ports. You can change the port to whatever you like. And then we start a classic socket object, AF INET sock stream, and we go ahead and bind it to the host and the port you've chosen above. And the host could be a local IP address or a remote IP address if you enable port forwarding as well. Then we're going to go ahead and accept a connection, and we'll be receiving a 1024 bytes payload, which we'll go ahead and decode over here. Now note that in some cases you might have to specify a specific decoding scheme like UTF-8 or whatever you're using. And what we usually do is we'll have a separator. In this case, this is it, EOFX, and we use that to know exactly the end of a byte transfer. So once we get these 6 characters over here, we're like, okay, so let's stop the socket and we're ready to process whatever has been transferred. And then once we receive that, just so you understand, the first thing we'll receive from a socket connection in this case is going to be the file name, the size of the file, and the actual file name. So once we receive that, we want to process that accordingly so we can know on the system, okay, this is the size of the file, and we're going to go ahead and check later to see if it matches with the amount of bytes received. And also we want to go ahead and give it the proper file name. So to do that, we go ahead and split the bytes that we received. So the E will be the size of the file, and the N will be the name of the file, including the extension as well. And this is what we print on screen, right? So we print the name, and then under parentheses we print the size of the file. So once we've gone ahead and done that, we can start opening the file for writing in binary mode, and then basically while true, so till this loop is running, we're gonna go ahead and receive bytes, and then we try to decode it, and if it ends with a separator, that means the transfer is complete, in which case we can go ahead and break out of the loop and we're done with the process. Otherwise, we're just going to go ahead and write those 1024 bytes into the file. And then once it's done, we go ahead, close the file, and finally we do the file size check. So basically we verify if the file, so E, this is going to be the length of the file which we receive on the first 1024 bytes, and we're going to compare that with an OS function that gets the size of the file we just wrote down over here. So if it matches, we'll go ahead and print size verified. Otherwise, we're going to print size mismatch, which means perhaps some bytes were received out of order or something happened in the transition of the bytes which corrupted the file. So that's basically it for the server. Now we can take a look at the client script. So for the client script, also about 20 lines of code, we go ahead and use the socket, time, OS, and the system functions. So we define the ports. We don't need to define a host because we'll be getting that from the arguments, right? So we do a check to see if we have the two arguments that are required for the script to run. So that'll be the host and the file. So if we do have those two arguments, we go ahead and set the first one as the host and the second one as the file name. Note that we have a two double dots here, which means if the file name has a space and we have to keep going argument 3, argument 4, that's going to go ahead and process those as well. And yeah, otherwise, if it doesn't have the amount of arguments, we'll just go ahead and print the usage so that the user can retype the command properly. Now we go ahead and define a socket, typical socket, and we go and connect into the host and the ports. So in this case, that'll be the client connecting to the server. And once we've connected, we're gonna go ahead and get the length of the file, which we'll send before the file transfer begins, and we'll get the file name as well. Now this is the initial payload, so you can see it says file, and then it specifies the length of the file, followed by the directory of the file and the file name as well. And we have to put the separator here so that the script knows, okay, the first payload is transferred. Now let's go ahead and start the file transfer itself. So yeah, we go ahead and print sending file so the user knows that the file is now being transferred. We do have to go ahead and encode it. Like I said, if you're using some type of specific encoding like UTF, you have to go and specify it here. A nice little sleep. And then we go ahead and open the file. And yeah, of course, we do have to put the try clause in here, because if the user didn't specify the directory properly or the file name properly, we will also want to go ahead and do an exception, which will print an error. All right. So if the file and everything is specified accordingly, we can go ahead, open the file as read in binary mode, and then we can start reading the file. For this tutorial, we'll be reading the entire file at once. There are ways where we can read a chunk of bytes, send those bytes, and process it like that, which will use less memory on the computer. But for this tutorial, we're going to keep it simple, and we'll probably do a more advanced file transfer with bytes, retransmission, stuff of that sort later on. But yeah, for this one, we go ahead and read the whole file at once, and we also go ahead and send the whole file at once. Once that's done, take a little 4-second sleep, and then we send a separator here, a delimiter, so that the system knows, hey, file transfer has completed. Go ahead, close the file we just read, and we can properly print out on the screen transfer complete. And that signifies the end of the process. So that's gonna be it for this tutorial. I'm gonna go ahead and transfer one more image so you guys can see how it looks like. Alright, now let's go ahead and send this Caitlin.jpg. So we'll do Python send client, we'll put the IP address, and we'll paste the name of the file, and let's send it over. And there we go. You can see the transfer is complete. We can now see the image here. The size has been verified. The image is identical to the one sent from the client computer. And that's gonna be it for this one. If you guys like it, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you for the next part of file transfer.